Next we have Shayna with What's Your Sign? How Astrology Improved My Life.
We got Shayna! Okay, 3B.
Oh my god, I'm so terrified. Okay, I'm sorry. This is scary. Okay. Alright. Forgive me, I might be awkward. When I went to my high school crush's house for the very first time in my junior year, we were working on a history project and his mom came in. She was very sweet. She came up to me and she said, "Hey, what's your birthday?" I told her it's September 19th, I'm a Virgo, and she's like, "Oh, you're into astrology, that's awesome. Let me show you something." So she went into the back and she brought out a book. It was about this thick. And she flipped to my page and she said, "Well, this is everything you need to know. And by the way, the book says that you and my son Johnny, you guys are perfect together." And it was pretty bad. Johnny did not like me that way, but you know, that's fine. It's a story for another time. But I learned from that situation that I would always end up falling in love with Capricorns, and Capricorns would always break my heart. But from that moment, I also learned that astrology was something that I'd kind of become obsessed with. I was fascinated about reading about the unique qualities of all the people in my life. I noticed that there was an oddly high number of Tauruses in my immediate friend group. And I also noticed that whenever I met an Aquarius, I didn't like them very much. Sorry, no shade. Whether it was the artistic and creative and incredible Pisces, or the intensely driven Leos who just never give up, or the Libras who just charm you and make you fall in love with their incredible first impressions, there's something beautiful that the signs can show you about just about everyone. And in reality, I was just looking for a way to learn more about people, and everyone made fun of me for the fact that I ask their birthday when I meet them, but that's just me trying to learn more about you. I know that it seems really dumb to be talking to an entire room of Stanford students about astrology of all things, like, this is the most scientific group of people in the world, and you guys all think it's BS, and that's fine, totally okay with it, but I do love a challenge. So I know that there's no evidence to support astrology. You don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me that, hey, you know, like, they did another analysis and they found out that it's actually all wrong. Like, no, please don't tell me that. I know that already. We're all good. I'm not trying to get any of you to genuinely believe that it's true. Not at all. For me, it's not about finding proof that it's real. Astrology is a belief system that I use for myself, and for myself only, to see the most beautiful qualities of all of the people around me. Astrology allows me to appreciate the most unique qualities about the people I love most. I've noticed the way that my mom manifests the ambition and passion that only a Leo could possess. And my best friend Andrew might get on my nerves sometimes with his characteristic Taurus stubbornness, but of course his sign is the most loyal and trusting, so I know I can always go to him for advice. I know that my dad, who passed away, had the love in his heart and kindness that only a Cancer could have possessed. And I smile knowing that he once lived happily under the same sky of stars that now inspires me. I like knowing that I could have used astrology, my lens, to apply it to the people that I no longer have with me. But in that sense, it's also something I like to use to apply to the people that I have with me now, to all of you. The world can be cruel, and I've witnessed that firsthand. And in times of darkness, why should there be anything wrong with looking to the stars for a little bit of light? People can be terrible, and their actions can really just hurt us beyond repair. And if you ever need to just maintain that faith in humanity, why not look to something like astrology? Why can't you look on the bright side? I've learned in psychology, I'm just going to say it, that your perception is your reality. There's no such thing as an objective reality. What you've learned and everything that you've had and experienced will affect the way that you see the world. It becomes your lens. And astrology is the way that I've changed my reality. It feels to me like when I learn, for example, that like, oh, this is your sign, I'm going to look for those qualities, and because I'm looking for them, they're going to stand out to me more. It's not about looking for the negatives, it's about looking for the positives. And if you can wire your brain to see those things, you genuinely will, and you will genuinely love the people around you more. And it doesn't have to be astrology. You can have any type of lens you want. Some of you can have a lens where you see the world as an intricate complexity of math and physics equations that just make it beautiful. And some of you can have a lens of art and aesthetic beauty that lets you appreciate every color and every shape even more beautifully. For me, my lens is astrology. People call me irrational for believing in something that science can't explain, and they actively search to evidence its falsehood. But to those skeptics, I say they're missing the point. By learning to appreciate the things that are kind of whimsical, kind of magical, and kind of unbelievable, we can open our hearts and minds to an even better worldview. Thank you.